Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another episode of Life Choices right here on Huda TV. Every week, as you know, we like to bring you a topic affecting the choices you make in life, whether it be social intelligence, emotional intelligence, setting goals and objectives, or even time management. If it affects your life, then inshallah we're going to talk about it here on Life Choices, only on Huda TV. Last week we brought you an episode on leadership skills, be a leader. Inshallah this week we're going to continue on with it because it's such a big and vast topic, and you know, all of us in one way, shape or another are all leaders in our life. We're joined with us, we have brother Adam. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
And brother Abdul Rahman filling in for Zakir one more time. Brother, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And brother Karim, of course.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. All right, so let's get started with the show. Brother Abdul Rahman, last week last episode we were talking about leadership skills. Be a leader.
Yeah.
We'll continuing on with it again. What would you like to add on the topic?
I think we should start with something of leadership skills. It's something basic. It's respect and trust.
Respect and trust. Okay, I like that one. Yeah.
Because if, let's say, a leader controls his followers by fear-based methods and like that, they might follow you, but not their loyalty wouldn't be their top quality. But if you respect each and every one of them, in the end, the result will be the loyalty loyalty from them to you. But in the end, because why? A leader might, his followers might leave them, might leave him, because they see that this man doesn't respect us, doesn't give us our, doesn't give us our
rights,
or doesn't give us what we deserve. He could praise them in public, but criticize them in private. That's a way showing them respect.
So you can say that again, criticizing?
No, to praise them in public and criticize them in private.
Backbiting,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Brother Adam, what's your take on leadership skills? I mean, what would you add to the conversation?
I took a leadership class in high school.
Okay.
And basically, the main purpose of this was to develop leadership skills, whether it was presenting an idea that you had belief in, or setting up an event and motivating a team to set up an event and make an event successful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in leadership, motivation is a big part, and also self-belief, belief in what you're leading is important.
Very interesting. I mean, for me, it was pretty summed up on the last episode when we had one of the brothers call in, motivation and vision. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the main points. When you're a leader, you should always have a goal in mind, and you should always aim higher than really what's expected. You know what I mean? As an example, we don't ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for just the lowest part in heaven. We ask Him for Jannat al-Firdaus, the highest part in heaven, because in the day we want to achieve the highest point. You know what I mean?
Nothing less than first will quench our thirst.
Nothing less than first will quench. Yeah, exactly right.
The guy's a walking book of.
MashaAllah, quotes of wisdom, Adam. Thank you. So for me, it's motivation and vision.
Yes. Actually, motivation and leadership are something that cannot separate. Because the leader who cannot motivate his team doesn't deserve to be a leader. Because motivation is a real common part in his job. And at the same time, when we teach motivational skills into the leader, we don't give them motivational skills, personal motivational skills. Because how to motivate yourself is something that you have to take it while you're still not leading a team. But as long as you started to lead a team, we give you something called motivational loyalty. How you motivate and gain the loyalty of others. It's the core of your job. How you can work on the motivation of your team, how you can work on the strengths, how you can examine your team to be able to control and to put everyone in his right position. Because when we are talking about leadership, we cannot say ever that everyone will be the leader by his own. As we said the last episode, everyone cannot work alone as a leader. He needs a company.
Yeah.
So he needs to put everyone in the place that he deserves. Otherwise, he will kill the team. Because there is major things that we measure any team over it. The three cores that we build any team over it, to understand the team or to work on the team, you have to understand the size, the diversity, and the what we call it, the interaction of the team. The first thing is the interaction or interpersonal communication between them. The first thing is the size. You have to understand the size of your team, because we have totally different perspective from a big team and small team. Everyone has its rules, has its problems, has its kind of conflicts. For example, if we are talking about small teams, when you have a small team, it's easy to be obeyed, that people work on what you say. But it's difficult to separate them from each other. Why? Because they are few. So they can have this strong bond together against you as a leader. So you have to focus, frankly. So you have to focus on the controlling of this. If you have a big team, you will have another problem, which is having what we can say small teams inside the team. You have a big team of 30 person. You can have inside this 30 person, you can have about 5 teams. Every 5 groups, they are teamed together. That will make a very strong conflict in your team if you don't understand it. So differentiating the small team and the big team, the small people and big people, is very essential thing. The second thing, and it's very difficult, is the diversity. The diversity of the team. How many cultures do I have? How many languages do I have? How many backgrounds? I have. Those people are religious or not. Although religion in business, by the way, they are religious or not. They are friendly or not. They are talkative or not. All the diversity, I must understand it. Especially the religious and the culture diversity are the main thing that we have to focus. And I think that you can find a lot of examples in your life towards the diversity and what kind of problems it can get out.
Like in our country, like right here, there's a lot of different nationalities.
Yes.
But everyone has a right. So a leader has to give everyone his right. A leader has to give to the followers each one his perfect right, his perfect amount of right.
Yes. And especially, and to keep also the everyone with his culture and background. For example, in the multinational companies, sometimes I work with a lot of foreigners and they are not Muslims. So I have a diversity in the team and they are my team. I cannot say anything.
Yeah.
So I have to control how females and males will treat each other, how they will talk. If there is someone who is very religious but he is not Muslim, and someone who is Muslim but very religious, how I'm going to deal with both of them at the same time?
It takes a good leader to be able to do that, to to cater for every person's needs and the diversity of the group they're looking after.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The last thing is the interpersonal communication between each other. How they are going to deal with each other. That's this is the most difficult part for the leader. Why? Because the leader must make this friendly environment, and at the same time he is keeping the process, if we are talking in business. If we are talking in life, this is more difficult. Why? Because our rules are ethics, which is always differ from someone to another. That's why we need Islam on that part. That we need the benchmark to tell us that when you do this like that, this is forbidden. When you do it like this, this is good. So you need the measurements.
We need unity.
Exactly, the points that you will measure on through what you learned from the Prophet and what you learned from the Sahaba and that stuff.
And there's another skill in leadership skills. There's something called decisiveness, as in making tough decisions in tough times.
Yes.
Because a leader, what takes to be a leader is making tough decisions, as in maybe it won't benefit everyone, but in the end it will benefit all.
Yeah, especially I want to, you make me remember something. Sometimes the leader stand in a situation that he cannot take a decision. It's difficult to take a decision, but he must. One of the business cases that we used to tell people, it was, imagine that you have an army, okay, and you are the leader. Please share me this. You are a leader and you have an army.
Okay.
And you have two paths to go to the point that you need to reach. One of the points, let's say the left side, if you went through the left side, 90% you will pass with the whole team, or nobody will pass. Okay?
Okay.
The right side or the other side, you 50% or 100% you will pass with 50 only of the team. You will lose 50% of your army anyway.
Okay.
From the right side. From the left side, 90% you will pass, and you will pass all, or you will die all.
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd go back.
This war is not mine.
I'll go back home.
that would be treated as an act of cowardice.
I mean, why? You're saving 100% of your
But that depends on what you think, bro. What the people think, no.
Well, it's fine. Let them think.
It's
Let them
war, you
think that, I
have
guess.
to.
I mean, it's up to you. I don't know. It's not really a realistic question. I don't-
What do you think?
I still didn't really understand. I didn't comprehend the question.
Okay, the right hand, we have right hand and left hand.
Yeah.
Okay?
If you choose the right hand, if you choose the path to the right, okay, there's a 100% chance that 50% of your crew will survive. 50% of your soldiers will survive.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
This is
Take
only
this path, 50% will survive without a doubt.
Yeah.
If you take the path to the left, okay, there's a 90% chance that you will make. Okay, there's a chance that 90% of your soldiers will make it, and there's a chance that none of them will make it. All right. So basically,
why am I choosing the paths?
because this is the question.
Yeah, this is the business case, Adam.
No,
I mean,
It's a decision.
for me, I take the 50 because in the end, in 90, you'll take risk.
It's a gamble. It's a gamble either way. I mean, either you lose 10% or you lose the whole 100% of your team, or you go
With
or you take the
90%.
50.
Hmm.
I mean,
What
don't
do you
be a coward and go back.
it reminds me of there's a question. It's like you have one man, he's dying.
You are turning the table, but okay.
But, I mean, you remind me of like something that's
Okay.
similar to that, but like
Uh,
I know the answer to this one.
ah.
And it's like you have a doctor, and he has 3 patients that they need. One needs a liver, the other needs another part, and the other one needs maybe a heart or something. And there's one guy, he's dying, and he has cancer. He's gonna die, but you can either kill this person and take his organs and give it to the other people, or you have the medicine, or you can cure him, and the other 3 people, maybe they'll die.
We will go in a place that is.
I'd phone a sheikh up.
Yeah, we need a sheikh to differentiate
this
if
question
it's
is,
possible or not.
The medical decision would be if you have the medicine to cure him, you can't take the decision to kill him.
No.
Because
Yeah,
you,
sure.
if you have the
You
medicine, you
cannot kill
must.
someone. You cannot.
You must make the
it's
choice to
not
save
your,
his
it's not your
life.
choice. I mean, you can.
Regardless if there's 3 people who.
I mean, there's
who
3
might die.
people. Allah can decide for their lives to end as soon as you transplant the other guy's organs
Of
out
course.
to give to him. I mean,
Yeah.
the decision of life is not in our hands. We take the asbab, but in the day, it's in the hands of Allah.
In all cases, we cannot say in the case that I said that there is a right solution. By the way, both are right and both are wrong. It depends. It depends on the situation, on everything. Some people will choose to guarantee 50%. Losing 50% is not important as long as at least I will keep 50%. Because on the other hand, I will lose all. And some people who are very optimistic people, they will say, no, maybe I will pass with the 90% of the people, and nobody will die.
So what's your logical answer?
Yeah, it has no logic. It depends.
Yeah.
What I want to say is, it's for that much extent, it is difficult as a leader sometimes to decide. You can put yourself inside those kinds of situations.
All I can say is, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, these are unrealistic scenarios. Because,
Yes, true.
I wonder what, it'd be hard to be faced with something like that.
You are a leader and you are responsible to decide. And you have people who are trusting you, and they put all the belief in you, and they will do whatever you said. Although if you said, we will go through here and we will die, they will do it for you. Okay? So that's a critical thing of the things that the must leaders care about. The other thing is problem solving. That one of his core things is to solve all the problems that he is facing everywhere. Through, however it was between the team, it was between his department and other departments, however it was personal, he is the decision, or he is the responsible for solving all kinds of problems for his team. Whatever, although if it was personal. Why? 'Cause this is his main role. His main role is to carry the, I don't know what to call it in English, but yeah, he's caring about, the responsibility,
Caring.
alham, of those people.
He's got the worry.
Exactly, the worry. The same for the ummah. We must care. We must feel all like leaders. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, as the Prophet said, right? So we are all responsible for someone. If you are a teacher, you are responsible for your students. If you are a father, you are responsible for your family. If you are a mother as well, definitely not you. If you are a kid, an older kid, you are responsible for your younger brothers. If they are the youngest, so the most lucky person on earth, because everyone is caring about you. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, all of us, in one way, shape or another, are leaders in our community. Again, mother with the family, brother to his younger brothers and sisters, teacher with their students, whatever it may be. We've all got that job of being a leader, and that's what we want to try and work on, is how to be a better leader. Yes. Inshallah, so that's,
Yeah, the main thing to make yourself the better leader, the best leader ever, is to focus on your ethics. Why? Because we said there is a lot of types of leaders.
Yeah.
The main type and the most important type is the ethical leader. The one who knows the values of everything. The one who can understand the wisdom behind everything happens. One of the leaders, look for his wisdom. He was going to reach the train. And after he put the first feet on the train, the second shoe fall down from his feet. So he found that one of his shoes are down and the train moved, so he cannot get it back. So he put off his next shoe and he threw it.
Yeah.
They asked him, why did you do so? He said, because someone, when he will find only one shoe, he needs to have the another shoe, to have the ability to use it. Otherwise it will have no use. So this is the wisdom that we are talking about behind a leader who can understand the wisdom, who can understand the benefit that will reach the people who are following him. That's why he was able to have a lot of followers. This is the kind of leadership that we are talking about. The one who has the knowledge to understand, and I think we need to focus more about the part of knowledge, because leader without knowledge is empty and is nothing.
All right, so leader without knowledge is empty and nothing. Inshallah, we'll be back with more right after this short break, so please don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Hoda TV's newest breakthrough into the world of Islamic media and academics, Hoda Academy. With courses in Aqidah, Tafsir, Fiqh, Hadith and Arabic, and your most favorite Hoda TV scholars, Hoda Academy is your chance to enrich your mind and heart. Prices are affordable, the knowledge is authentic, the scholars are real, and the location is your home. Since Hoda TV's inception and the dream of Hoda Academy has been on our minds, after years of hard work, the dream is now here. Just like Hoda TV, Hoda Academy is a non-profit project, and your tuition fees go straight back into developing more courses. Knowing the basics of Islam is an obligation, but in-depth knowledge of our deen is reserved for those Allah guides to take the extra step. Your chance to become a student of Islamic knowledge is here, literally at your fingertips. Take a leap and join us today. Hoda Academy, your gateway to authentic Islamic knowledge.
I especially like the quote about "Don't wait for your ship, swim out to it,"
Yeah.
or something like that. And it reminds me of that whole that whole report there. It reminds me of a saying once my uncle said to me is that nothing is hard; it's as hard as you make it. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, true. It's all about what we used to say before. Everything in the beginning must be difficult, but how you see it is how you make it easy. Leadership is difficult because you are leading human beings with all this diversity, with all the change that you can imagine. It's a very difficult thing, but as long as you can get to use it, get used to it, and as long as you are doing it a lot and you're having all the skills, you will be able to change, as they said, to change the impossible into possible, to make it I am possible.
Okay, how about someone saying it might be difficult for some, but it's easy for some people that has a natural talent of being leader. They were born to be leader. That's what we say. So shouldn't we say that it could be hard for it could be hard for some, but easy for others?
Of course, of course. I mean, all tasks could be hard for some and easy for others. I mean, we're all human beings, and we're all different on different levels. We have different strengths. We all have different weaknesses.
I think what it comes down to is not the difficulty of the task, but how much the person who's doing the task believes in the task, to where the difficulties that he comes across is so insignificant as compared to his ultimate goal.
Exactly right. I mean, it's not like, you know, again, it's, I don't even know how to put it in words.
No, you can't put it in words.
I mean, you know, as a leader, you should be the change you wish to see in the world. And, you know, I was taking a class called Peer Helping back in high school. And the whole purpose of the class was to help your peers. People who maybe they didn't have friends at lunch, you know, you go and sit with them and talk with them, and simple things like that. I mean, really make a difference, and shows, you know, leadership skills to invite people who maybe feel they don't have anyone to invite them.
Showing them your value, your own value, like
the video said, yeah,
exactly.
Make people believe in themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's one. This is one of the skills I like. It's called appreciation. As in, you made a team. You delegated you chose your members, and you delegated to them. You delegate each member to go to. You choose each one of them. They have strength and they have the weakness. So you put each one of them in a spot they're strong at, and you avoided them from some spot that they're weak at. In the end, after you did that, they got to trust you. The more trust they have, the more loyalty, and the more appreciation. The more you appreciate them, the same thing, the same result. They have more loyalty for you. Because why? A person in his nature, he likes to be appreciated for what he does. Anyone is like that. Or let's say everyone loves to be appreciated.
Yes, it's one of the rules, the main rules of satisfying people, is to always be thankful for them. That is one of the main rules of what we call a charisma. You heard about charisma? Huh?
Charisma.
Charisma is a Greek word. It means the ability to make others follow you and convince them without using the tool of logic. This is the core meaning, or the definition that we can define with the charisma. It's the ability, look for the last part, the ability to convince others without using the tool of logic. It's a Greek word. It means that you can have all the control on people and be a leader for them without using a single logic.
Yeah, just through your attitude.
It's a matter of attitude. It's
like
a matter of your behavior.
It's like a magic spell. Chanting someone isn't doing something that they'd like, or something that you would want, but not using any force or logic. They just understand like that naturally.
All right, so we can agree that, you know, a good leader would have
good attitude.
Good attitude and charisma.
But not every leader has charisma. Not everyone has a charisma.
No, but we're saying is I mean, it's the thing is, charisma is something that you can develop.
Yes.
Or something that you just have naturally.
Yes.
How can you develop that? That's
Some
something.
How can you develop charisma?
Some people having charisma, they have charisma, and some other people, they don't have this natural charisma, so they have to build it up. How to build charisma? It's very easy. You have some steps that you have to care about. One of them, for example, is acting with credibility. You have to act with credibility with people. You must be a source of trust. People must believe in you. Second thing, you have to give sincere compliments. how to build your charisma. Give sincere compliments and accept sincere compliments. Try to be always thankful for people, thanking them for their work.
Yes, that's the common thing you see. All I've seen is that when someone does something bad, people scorn him. If a child's done something bad or whatever it may be, a student, some the people are quick to say, you did a bad job. But when it comes to rewarding or saying, oh, good job, etc.
We don't want to say, it's okay, it's fine. But when it's come to punishment, it was very bad.
But then see again, I mean, I've heard people argue that why should you get rewarded for doing the right thing? You know what I mean? If
there's something you remind me of something. There's some parents that it's a true thing. There's some parents, they criticize everything. That's sometimes, not all of the parents, but there's some parents that criticize everything that their son or their child does. But in the end, when you ask them, why are you not praising me at least? The guy says, I'm motivating him to do more. To do more
that's the argument I've heard, is why should I praise someone for them doing the thing they're supposed to do?
No.
You understand? Like,
it's like a thing of mercy.
You're supposed to, because if it becomes, then what happens when you don't praise them? So they're doing the right thing, and every time they do something right, they expect to get praised for it. But doing the right thing is the normal thing.
No, I could tell them, the guy is waiting, the son is waiting for his parents to praise them. But the parents is saying, he should do more, I'm motivating to do more. But I'm telling you, the guy might not even do what you think. So right here, we need an answer for that, because sometimes we need something to just not as in to change their ways, to at least correct that.
I guess maybe the answer here, I mean, I've sort of answered my own question just now, but is moderation. Moderation in everything. Moderation in criticism, and moderation in praise. If you moderate in both of those, then there shouldn't really be any side effects, negative effects to it. You know what I mean? But if you overdo one or the other, then I can see some problems. But I think if moderation, I think that's the answer. I don't know. That's what I think.
Actually, one of the rules of motivation is, or one of the methods is what we call it carrot and stick theory. Carrot and stick theory.
Carrot and stick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the very famous rule in the world and
especially in Arab.
Yeah. What do you mean?
We all know what you mean.
In politics, in economic, carrot and stick theory is the most popular one. But actually, in human beings, we found that carrot and stick theory caused a lot of disasters for people. Why? When you teach your son that he will never, he must do this, or you are going to punish him, okay? Or you are going to punch him, actually, you will grow up, or you will raise up a coward.
A coward, yes.
A coward, yeah. Someone who is doing these things out of fear. And if you teach him that he has to do everything for money, or for a reward, a materialistic reward,
the guy becomes greedy.
He will become greedy.
And he will only do things for that reward, not because it's the right thing to do.
No, just for money.
You see, but they're both two ends of the extreme.
Yes.
One who's always dangling the carrot in front of you, and the other one who's always beating you with a stick.
Exactly.
But if you beat that guy enough, as we've seen in real life, then the people are going to turn back on you and say, well, I've got nothing to lose.
Backfire.
It's going to backfire.
The most important thing, that you must raise your children on the values, not on the materialistic things. So when you make him attached to the value, for example, you have to study. Why? Because you have a value in this world. And one of the amazing stories that I will never ever forget in motivation, what the father of Salah ad-Din did with him when he was a kid. He was playing a cricket or something like a sport. He was playing with kids. So his father was riding his huge horse, and he found him playing. So he got him from his hand, and he raised him up, and he said, I didn't get you to play with kids. I got you to open and to be the leader of the Arab countries. Then he left him. The guy fell down from this huge place. It was a big shock, a big crash with the floor. So he started to, he's surprised, but he didn't cry. So his father looked at him and asked, "Why you are not crying?" He said, "Because the leader of the Arabs cannot cry." This was the concept. You know, how they raised, this is how they raised up their kids.
Yeah, if you have a look, I mean, they had a vision there.
Exactly.
A high visions. You know, I don't want you to be a doctor. No, I want you to be the leader of the Muslims.
Exactly.
And subhanAllah, you're talking about Salahuddin Ayyubi.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right,
subhanAllah. So, you know, a very great figure in history indeed, mashallah.
Yes. So make your kids attached to a very big value. Not to be a doctor. Look for what they said. To be a doctor and having a lot of money and having a car. It's good, but it's not how we have to raise them up.
No, definitely not.
It's not a value, you know. Very materialistic value, not spiritual. Right?
Yep.
So we need people who are working for God, not waiting for money, not waiting for the price. You have from now and then give them a price. From now and then you need to punish, but only in urgent cases.
Yeah, I guess the main point again is we're trying to stress is moderation is the key. As you find out throughout Islam and everything we do is it's all about moderation. Inshallah, we'll be back with more right after this short break. Please don't go anywhere. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Life Choices. Before the break, we're talking about leadership skills and how we raise our children. We gave the example of the carrot and the stick and how some people, you know, try to rule their people.
Yes.
Adam, what's your thought on all this?
Well, yeah,
I mean,
before the break, you guys were getting on me for not talking much, but, you know, something comes to my mind is like, if you don't have something good to say, then don't say anything at all. So,
well, we're not saying anything bad, but
I'm trying to.
We want your insight. We want your opinion, because I mean, as we said in our episodes on social intelligence, I mean, to learn more in this world, we need to interact more with people. You know, seeing their opinions, their different experiences. You know,
Right.
so we can all learn. So if you share with us, inshallah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you were leading down a path of you know, of your own with those words. Personally, I think like a leader should be compassionate. Like, you know, there's hadith that, you know, the man who doesn't have compassion, Allah won't be compassionate to him. And the same with mercy. Like we were talking about parents who are a little bit rough on their kids.
Yeah.
Or I hear like I have a friend from Nigeria. And he said his father never shook his hand until he finished high school. Didn't give him a hug or anything. Wow. He only shook his hand when he finished high school. And there's hadith like, if you don't show mercy to like people, how do you expect Allah to show mercy?
I wonder what the logic behind that was.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the same
to
question.
make them like,
you know, not
making tough.
Yeah, it's like the tough, like you have to. This world is like tough. It's a lack of mercy and a lack of compassion.
To win the price of shaking hand of me.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
And he said he learned from that. He wants to, when he has children, he's gonna be
cut
nice.
his hand.
No, he's gonna be really good to his kids because of that. So.
But see, it's amazing. That's what we're talking about. Is how you learn from interactions with other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for the fact that his father was, you know, did something negative with him, not shaking his hand, he's able to learn from that experience.
Yeah, he'll be a better father.
So yeah, inshallah, we can learn from those things, learn from our parents' mistakes, learn from our mistakes, the mistakes of our friends. You know what I mean? That's what really, that's what we should try to focus on, is picking up on other people's faults, not to judge them, but to learn from their faults, learn from their mistakes, to become better.
There's something like brother, before we talked about it, that every leader, at least the leader, there's different leaders. But every leader has to have a knowledge of what he's leading.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because knowledge is a basic thing in life. You can't go walking around anywhere without knowing where you're walking or where you're going.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say a leader is like being a manager. A manager is supposed to know how to manage people, how to make schedules and timelines for everything, and choose his team member of his own the team. And let's say a president is supposed to be, he has to know at least, he has to know, that's a must about politics, because a doctor can be a doctor, a normal doctor, like the one who, a physician, can't be a president if he doesn't have at least a little bit knowledge of politics.
Well, knowledge of the deen. I think that's one we're lacking a lot these days.
But right now, these days they don't take. But right now, no, we're talking about mostly politics. Politics, we need politicians. When you need to be a manager, you have to know a management. When you need at least like a psychologist, you need to know about psychology.
You know, it's funny because I've seen a lot of in my experience. I've seen a lot of people who want to be leaders, right, in a workplace environment, but they don't have the skill or the knowledge. And sometimes you see people getting promoted without having the merit for it, and they do a very, very bad job at leading. In fact, they let everyone down. They put the company down or whatever workforce it may be because they don't have the knowledge and skill. So they fail at being leaders. They fail, and everyone fails as a result of that. Because if you don't have a good leader, the people behind him are,
And exactly, after the knowledge, after having the knowledge, you have to have planning skills. Because a leader has to know how to plan his time, how to plan his schedule, or how to plan of what his team members should do.
Yeah, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
This guy, I told you guys, this guy is a walking book.
Subhanallah, alhamdulillah.
Actually, the core of leadership is knowing your specialist or your profession to the max, and having bits and pieces about everything else. So, as a leader, flaunting your knowledge is the first step that you have to take before dealing with your team. Because if your team didn't see the knowledge behind you and started to look at you as someone, as a source of knowledge, they will not respect you. Because the main source of respect comes from knowledge. And we can see it. Maybe someone who is very young, he's maybe in the beginning of his 20s, but he has a PhD in blah, blah, blah. What you will see, people always respect him. They don't deal with him like a kid. No, they say, hello, doctor, how are you, professor? That's why? He has a knowledge. The same for the sheikh. You can find a sheikh who is still kid, but mashallah, for example, he memorized the Quran and he started to study fiqh, and he is 14 years old.
Mashallah.
But he has a very huge knowledge. You will find inside yourself that you have respect to this kid, and I mean it. Respect for this kid.
And still, you have more respect than a normal. You all give this kid more respect than when you give a respect to a normal sheikh.
Because he's excelled his age.
So young. He's so young.
Yeah, he's excelled his age group. I mean, that sort of brings me to 2 points. I've just forgotten what they were.
Well, yeah, like I saw some of the reciters on the Huda TV, the young kids reciters, and there's one of these kids, I don't know exactly his name, but subhanallah, his recitation is like beautiful, and like he has like this power behind his voice that Allah bestowed upon him, and it's like subhanallah, his parents must be teaching him really well.
So actually, I just remembered the 2 points I was going to mention. I mean, sometimes a lot of emphasis is placed on someone's age and the certificates they have. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
have you got a PhD? Have you got a bachelor's or a master's? And how old are you? I don't think that's the case. I mean, I don't think age really plays much. It's also about life experience. You can find someone who's very young, but they have gone through so much in their life.
I always hear age is just a number. It's about life experiences.
It's about life experience. That's right. And sometimes you can find someone who's very young, who has been through so much more than someone in a very old age. And I've seen people, older people try to say, Habibi, what are you trying to teach me about life?
No, there are people like that, like you said, there are kids. They've been how could I say, socialized or they reacted to every different kind of reactions in the world. In the environment.
And I see this a lot in Arab countries. I find the children, for example, are usually more mature in the Arab countries.
Well,
they're more than back home, say in Australia or the Western countries, because of the lifestyle they've lived.
Yeah.
You know, it's tougher growing up. I think in an Arab country, you know, there's none of that. You know, not necessarily materialistic, but it's not as easy. You know, there's a lot more work to be done living day-to-day life in an Arab country, as opposed to a Western country.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think, you know, those kids, they're more developed mentally. And then again, depending on their life experiences, what's happened in their home.
Yeah.
It depends on the leader who is the father, the leader that they already have.
Oh yeah, of course, the mother and the father.
Yes.
Older brother, uncle, auntie.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them play a different role in their life.
Yeah, they are leaders. All of them are leaders, and they have to use what we call in leadership, and those 2 points are very important in leadership. Before we finish, we must talk about them, which is delegation and empowering. There is a big difference between delegation and empowering. Delegation is giving you the job, like acting instead of me.
Right.
But empowering, you have the decision yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not interfering at all.
This is the best, I think.
Okay? So sometimes I have to get my children to that way. For example, it starts with when I have a small brother. For example, you can give him the money to pay for in the market.
Yes.
You just monitored him, you know, just monitor if he took the right backup money or not, and that stuff. But you're only delegating him. You bought the things, then he pays the money.
Yeah.
After a while, you empower him. After you get somehow older, you have to empower him. Buy to me this and this and this and pay it and come back. This is empowering. If you have a kid who cannot do this up till now, so you have a problem, or you are not doing this with them, this is a big problem.
You could call that spoiled.
Yeah, because we face this in departments, we face this in business. We find in Arab countries, especially in Arab countries, you can, when you come to delegate someone or to empower someone, especially empowering, they have a very big problem with empowering. Whenever I tell one of my employees, for example, brother X, please do 1, 2, 3, 4, and see it. If it's appropriate, take the decision. If it is not, don't take the decision, delay it. And I go. When I come back, what did you do? Nothing. Why you did nothing? I didn't know. Maybe you like it, maybe not. I told you, you are empowered. No, I don't know. Maybe I chose something wrong. So when you will choose the right, after how many years, you know? So we need to have this kind of implementation for our leaders. And it depends also on the way we will choose those leaders. Because as we said in the beginning of the episode, not everyone can be a leader. Everyone can
Not
learn.
everyone can be an effective leader.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good. Anyone can learn to be a leader. But nobody, it doesn't mean that everybody is a leader on earth. Okay?
Or we could say a good leader.
An effective leader.
A good leader.
An effective
I
leader.
mean, you can be effective in the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So it's our main focus is trying to be a good leader.
That's why we have to search before we choose. Search. We have to experiment, to try him, to give him a trial.
Yeah.
We have to give him a job, which is preparation period. After that, we have to examine him. The last thing, we can hire.
MashaAllah, subhanAllah. I think I know I've learnt a lot today. Inshallah, you have as well. It's come to that time where we need to finish off the episode. I'd just like to take the time, first of all, to thank the brothers for their time and efforts. Brother Adam, Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Brother Abdul Rahman, a pleasure again.
Thank you.
And Brother Karim, it's always a pleasure, brother. And viewers, thank you so much for joining us for another episode on Life Choices on Huda TV. I'm Muhammad Amran, and until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu
Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Choices, chances, dreams and goals. Many mixed emotions in my heart and soul. For some I made a plan and did the best I can. If God wills, things can happen. After all, I'm just a man. Ooh.